welcome to our YouTube channel. So today we'll be talking about measurements and units. So measurement is an important aspect of physics. You can't have variables without measuring them. It is what shapes the world of physics. If something is big, we like to know how big it is. If something is small, we like to know how small it is. So we live in a world of comparison. So when we talk about measurements, we have to talk about units. Because suppose you measure the length of a chair and you have the length as 10 meters. You can't just say 10. The meter is where units comes in. So units cancels out any form of ambiguity. It makes it clear that you are measuring length, not time or mass. So that is the whole point of having units. So we have several important parameters to measure, or several quantities that are so important or vital in the field of physics. One is mass. So, mass is the quantity of matter that a body possesses. How much matter does that body have in it? An example would be, if I should compare this marker with, say, a book, and I ask you, which one has more mass? You can intuitively tell me that the book has more mass than the marker. Why? Because the book contains more quantity of matter in it compared to the marker. So that is where comparison comes in play also. So the unit of mass is in kilogram. So suppose you measure the mass of the book. Suppose it's 10, so you say it is 10 kilograms. Mass is measured, or the instrument used to measure mass is the beam balance and the chemical balance. Now, the beam balance and the chemical balance uses something called moment in physics. Soon enough, we'll get to the topic. It applies the principle of moment to measure the mass of an object. So we use beam balance and chemical balance to measure mass. Yes. Now, next, we'll talk about length. You can intuitively tell what length is, how long an object is. So, length, the unit of length is in meters. We measure length with meter, like I said earlier on. So, length is measured in meters. That is the SI unit of length, the System International Unit of Length. So, next we have time. Time is the duration in which events occur. You can intuitively tell. The unit of time is seconds. So the duration in which events occur, you can say, and it is almost impossible to specify an object without time. If I should tell you, meet me at, let's say, meet me at Lagos, you would ask me when. That is where time comes in play. So time is a very vital aspect of physics, and time is measured in seconds. So these are very important quantities we measure in physics: mass, length, and time. And it pops up a lot in when we talk about dimensions. We talk about mass, we talk about length, and we also talk about time. But there are other properties we also have to consider. That is where fundamental and derived quantities comes in play. But before I talk about fundamental and derived quantities, I would like to speak about some instruments used. I told you the mass of an object is measured using an instrument called the beam balance and the chemical balance. Now, length is measured using different instruments depending on what you are measuring. So, one example would be the meter rule. The meter rule is the most common instrument used to measure length. The meter rule can measure the length of a long object. It can, yes. And the meter rule has a graduation of 0.1 centimeter. So what the graduation means, it just simply means the labeling of, like a ruler, how the ruler is labeled, like the calibration of that ruler. That's what it means by saying graduation. So the smallest measurement there is the 0.1 scale. Now, the meter rule is good, but when we want to get more accurate, we use another instrument called the vernier caliper. The vernier caliper is more accurate than the meter rule. It is a more accurate instrument to use or a better substitute than the meter rule. We can also talk about the caliper. It is also another instrument used to measure length. We can also talk about the meter screw gauge. The meter screw gauge is used to measure the thickness of a thin object, of a very thin object, like a lens, for instance. That's what it's used to measure. So, time. What do we use to measure time? We use stopwatch, obviously. A pendulum can be also used to measure time. And back in the days, you can also use what's it called? A sandbox, the one where you flip it around, and the sand drops till it can also be used to measure time. Yes. What else? So we can now move to fundamental and derived quantities. So, what is a fundamental quantity? Fundamental quantities are quantities that do not depend on other quantities. They are basic quantities that stand alone. They can be expressed in themselves. They are not expressed with respect to other quantities. They stand alone. An example of a fundamental quantity is mass. Another example of another fundamental quantity is length. Another example is time. These are all fundamental quantities. You can see their units are not expressed with any other or in terms of any other units. So we have 7 fundamental quantities. I'll list them out now. We have mass, obviously. We have length. We have time. We have current. We have amount of substance, or mole. And call it amount of substance. Luminous intensity. So mass, length, time, current, amount of substance, luminous intensity. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have one more. Mass, length, time, current, amount of substance, luminous intensity. And then we have temperature. Exactly. Temperature. Yes. So temperature is measured in Kelvin. Luminous intensity is measured in candela. Amount of substance is measured in mole. Current is measured in ampere. Time is measured in seconds. Length is measured in watts, meter, and mass is measured in kilogram. So these are the 7 fundamental quantities we have in physics. Now, do well to memorize this because it is very vital when we talk about physics, particularly Jamb physics, because questions like this pops up a lot in measurement. They can give you certain questions and ask which of these are fundamental quantities. And now you know these are the 7 fundamental quantities we have in physics. So now let's talk about derived quantities. What are derived quantities? Derived quantities are quantities that depend on other quantities to express themselves. They can depend on fundamental quantities to express themselves or other derived quantities. So they are dependent quantities. They do not stand alone. Opposed to fundamental quantities that can stand alone, derived quantities do not stand alone. An example of the derived quantity is energy. Another example of a derived quantity is force. The unit of energy is what? It's joules. The unit of force is Newton. Another example of a derived quantity is momentum. Another example of a derived quantity is density. So you can tell anyone other than this 7 fundamental quantity is classified as a derived quantity. Yes. So, moving on, I want to drop a question for you and I would like you to answer the question. So I have a Jamb question here that says, the thickness of the central portion of a thin converging lens can be determined very accurately by using A, a vernier caliper, B, a micrometer screw gauge, C, a telescope, and D, a microscope. So I would like you to pause this video and think for 5 seconds. So I hope you got the answer. The answer is obviously a meter screw gauge. Like I said earlier, meter screw gauge is used to measure the thickness of thin objects. And you can see a converging lens is a thin object. And a meter screw gauge is the most appropriate instrument used in this case. Yes. So, moving on. Earlier, I told you that mass can be measured using the beam balance and the chemical balance. People often, especially Jamb students, they often confuse mass with weight. What is the difference between mass and weight? So, mass is the quantity of matter that a body possesses, but weight is the force or the pull that drags or attaches an object to the surface of the earth. So it is more like a force rather than a quantity that a body possesses. So when we talk about the weight of a body, we are basically talking about the force of gravity acting on that particular body. So the weight of a body is measured in Newton. Why? Because I told you the weight of a body is practically a force. But the mass of a body is not a force. So what do we use to measure weight if we use the beam balance and the chemical balance to measure mass? So we use the spring balance to measure weight. Now, the spring balance uses a unique principle in physics called Hooke's law. The spring balance uses Hooke's law to measure the weight of an object. Yes. So I hope now you know the difference between mass and weight. Moving on, we have to talk about dimensions. Since we spoke about derived quantities and fundamental quantities, our next topic of discussion will be on dimension.